so guilty.
What's good, guys? It's your girl Fats. Hope you guys are well. Today we have a special guest. You might have recognized her on Love Triangle Series 1. She's a personal trainer. I am joined by Danika. Hey.
Hi, you right?
How are you feeling? How's your week been? I'm good.
Oh, yeah, I'm all good, thanks. I mean, yeah, I've just been at work, all calm. I mean, there was a fight in the gym. It was all a lot.
A fight?
A physical fight. It's not my standard Wednesday. I was like, it was all a lot.
Wow. What was it all about?
I didn't even know somebody scratched somebody's car, and then the next thing they're like, literally, and I thought it was fake at first. I was like looking, and I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, somebody stop it. It was 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. I was like, this weren't on the itinerary, you know. It was not much, but apart from that, it's been fine. I mean, I've just had laser hair removal today, and I worked on it and chilling.
Do you usually get this laser removal?
Yeah, like I started getting it like a year and a half ago. It's definitely a vibe. Get my pic down below, and yeah, it's a vibe. I'm here for it.
Do you feel like you prefer the laser removal than getting waxed?
Yeah, I used to get waxed before, but obviously with wax, you have to get it done and then wait 6 weeks and then wait till it grows again. Whereas now you don't have to do anything. That's so much better.
Does it take a long time to grow, and does it hurt?
No, laser don't hurt at all. Like, literally, it's like little, like, I don't even know what they're called, maybe electrolytes. So I definitely made that up. Definitely not electrolytes. But it's like a machine that, kills the hair follicles, and then your hair don't grow back. But it has taken a time. Like, I've literally been doing it for like a year and a half, and it's not the cheapest thing. It's definitely cost me like just over $1,000.
Oh yeah.
But to never have to shave again, like.
Oh yeah, because we really go through it. We really go through it as women.
100%. And it's not even just shaving; it's the rash after. Who's got time?
I know. Anybody got time for that?
Anybody got time for that? 100%.
So would you say to the women out there that maybe like women should invest to lasering?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The thing is, when you get waxed every like 5 weeks, and then you spend £30 then anyway. And I mean, laser, you get it done every like 6 to 8 weeks, and you pay, it's like £80 to £100. So really, you do pay a little bit more, but it's long lasting. Obviously, wax, you just keep doing that continuously. At least with this one, you eventually don't have to. So 100%, I would laser all day long. No shaving rashes, no bumpiness, no ingrown hairs, all that vibe, girls. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is worth your pennies.
And if you think about it, you know, life be lifey, and the last thing you want to think about is shaving.
No, 100%, especially when you can't be bothered as well, and then you're going on holiday. Like, it's just, yeah, it's one of those things that you always think of last as well. You're like, oh, fuck's sake, I ain't shaved. Oh, have I got a razor? Like, oh, I need a fresh razor. And even earlier, when I did my leg, I like cut myself. Like, it's just not a vibe. But I don't get my legs done because I don't really get too hairy legs, so it doesn't bother me.
It's very interesting that you say that, because especially if you're in a relationship and your man comes up and you're like, damn, like, do I have to shave down there?
100%. This is what I mean. Or unless, I mean, if you've been in a relationship for a hot minute, I mean, not even that boys care anyway, let's be honest. They wouldn't even care. No, maybe not like 6 to 8 weeks worth, but I mean, the way that us girls go, we'd like be the fresh, we'd be like getting a rash from doing it like a couple days in a row. Do you know what I mean? Like, But yeah, no, I don't think, it's definitely worth it. I'd recommend.
Now, speaking of like relationships and love, before you went on the show of Love Triangle Series 1, have you ever been on some type of love triangle situation? And if so, can you please share it with us?
On a love triangle? No, I'm literally, like I said on the show, I literally talk to one person, and then before I can't multitask with guys. I don't know how guys do it. I literally don't understand it, because I would get baffled with like the conversations and everything. I'm a very one kind of guy, kind of girl. So once I speak to them, then I move on. So I'd literally never ever been in any situation where almost even that, like, I'm trying to fight for somebody else's guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, or interested in it. I've never been in that situation, because on the outside I'd just be like, oh cool, whatever. One, I wouldn't even know that he was talking to the other girl, so it wouldn't even cross my mind. And two, that if I did know like it was that kind of situation, then I'd probably bin it off. But when you're in these situations, you're in a bubble, and also there's not something else going on. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing else going on. So in my head, I'm like, well, I'm like bored in this. Like, the amount of times I'd be like to the producers, well, I just want to go home then, because I'd rather be with my friends and family than be with all these people that they're not my friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be with my friends and family at home. But yeah, it's completely different when you're in heightened situation, and you're spending time with people that on the outside, I wouldn't have spent time with. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. So what was your thoughts when you found out that you was gonna be on a show like Love Triangle, and like, were you thinking to yourself, what have I actually just got myself into? Were you scouted?
No. Like literally, like a funny thing is, like I literally got shortlisted for maths. And yeah, but they didn't find me a match. So I got shortlisted for that. And then
they didn't find you a match.
Well, that's what they said. They didn't find me a match. Like I literally went to London, everything, met, took the pictures, everything. And then I obviously didn't get to the final bit. And then once they told me that, and I was like, I may as well, I saw like an advert, and then I remember at the time, like I was literally talking to a guy, and I was like, well, I kind of want to apply for this, so I must not be serious about this guy, so that I'll use that as an excuse to bin off the guy. I was like, well, I must not be that into you because I want to apply for this.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bin him off anyway, so I was kind of just looking for an excuse, but it worked. It was an excuse. So I did, so then I applied for this, and it turns out like all the psychiatrists and everything are the same for maths as this, so I didn't have to do all that process again. So literally from the time I applied to I find out I was going on was literally like less than 3 weeks. It was like so quick from where I'd already done like all the processes, and like, yeah, so it was crazy. And even when they called me to say it, like I'd got on it at Love Match, I'd got on Love Match as it was.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know obviously that it was going to be Love Triangle, and I didn't know that it was going to be multiple guys.
Do you know what's so interesting? After watching the show and seeing you at the reunion, which by the way, you brought the heat into that reunion, I'm surprised that they didn't put you on maths. Do you know how lit you would be on maths?
Oh my, 100%. Imagine at the dinner table. I was angry enough. I'd be like,
no, you would have been so amazing. I'm shocked that they didn't like find you a match. Like, how can they not?
Yeah, 100%. So I feel like, yeah, it must have not, the matches must have not been matching up to be like, obviously, because they all have an idea in their head of what they want, and the idea must have not been with the story that they were going with it. But after this one, I'm actually pretty glad that I didn't do maths, because I don't know how I'd be like 3 months versus 1 month. 1 month was enough. The wine was whining. Every day I was like, I'm going to get wine. I'm going to get wine.
Do you feel like, you know, they feed you a lot of drinks because they know once the drinks flow, we know we're about to get some entertainment, we're about to get some chaos?
I definitely think they give you a couple, but I mean, the amount of times we got cut off of alcohol, like they don't let you keep just drinking. They're like, no more alcohol for these lot. And 9 times out of 10, like at the first dinner party, I was drinking before at like our apartment. They didn't know. And then literally after that dinner party, they were like, Danika, we was wondering how you were so drunk because you only had 1 glass of wine. I said, I had a bottle and a half before I even got there, mate. The joke thing is, I drank there, and then when I was on the way there, like my driver had to stop and get petrol. So when he stopped to get petrol, I got another little bottle of wine because I was stressed, because I just argued with Jack. I was like, I want to go home. I was like, I'm fuming. I was like, I'm over this. Like, and like we have no contact with the outside world, but I obviously know my sister's number off by heart. So I was on my phone with my sister in the text. I was like, nah, this is a joke. I'm going to get more wine. My sister was like, whoa, this is a lot. And then I got more wine. Then obviously turned up there, and I was like, steaming. Absolutely steaming. The day after, I was like, yeah, there was more questions like, what happened? I was like, don't really know. I was like a drunk snog though.
Wow.
And the thing is, what they don't show as well, like literally when I got in there, like 2 minutes after, Brody was like, well, I don't like my match and you don't like yours, so sit down. So she obviously sat me down with Lioyd. I didn't like go and sit down with him. So obviously because she sat me down with him, that's why then I was just talking to him. But because I was obviously I had a drink or whatever, I just like went with it and sat down with him. So I don't think if she wouldn't have sat me down with him, then I might not have ended up kissing him or even being as involved with him that as I was. Just she was like, sit down. I was like, oh, okay then. Yeah, and the next thing we're back in snogging.
Crazy. It's so interesting that they cut that bit off and made it seem like you was all over Lioyd, like you was onto him. And it turns out it was actually Brody that sat you down.
Yeah, literally Brody sat us down together. And that's the thing. And do you know what? With this series, I've definitely realised like the differences within situations. And even like at the dinner party where me and Lioyd was talking, when Mo was talking to him as well, in Lloyd's OTF, he said, he was like, oh yeah, no, she just seems really desperate for physical touch. But he wasn't talking about me. He was talking about Amy. They asked him what he thought about Amy and Dan. And he said, oh, she just seems really desperate for physical touch. But they'd done the video looking like he was on about me. And he literally messed me after. He was like, I didn't say that. I was like, no, I didn't think you said it. Like, literally. I was like, yeah, because I weren't desperate for physical touch. The whole thing, it definitely looks like I was, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it was really calm. Like I literally had said to him, like, cool, whatever. Like I don't like. I'm kind of like fair game. Like I weren't gonna beef her. I didn't never have any nasty things to say about Emily, or I don't need to like batter somebody down to like put my 2 in. It was only obviously at the end when Emily called me desperate that I was fuming, and I literally went in that dinner party and I didn't hug her obviously because, and this is the thing, at the reunion she hugged me, but she didn't want to hug me, but she still hugged me. At that dinner party I didn't want to hug you, so I didn't hug you because I don't need to fake around people. And at that, when we went to that dinner party, I literally said to him, as long as she didn't come for me, I'm not going to come for me. And then when she comes for me, obviously I spread it, and I was like, yeah, well, you slept with him, did it? And she didn't know I knew that because I'd already found out. I found out that, so I was like, as long as she don't out me, I'm not out on her. And then I laid all her thing, and obviously she was like panicked because she didn't know I knew all the information I knew. Well, my nan always told me be one step ahead of them.
Oh, your nan! Listen, I need to meet your nan because listen.
Unfortunately, she's passed away now.
Oh,
rest her soul. Yeah. But yeah, she's Bayesian, and
she wasn't lying either. I'm not gonna.
No.
Yeah, she wasn't lying about that.
And I was so humble as well. Like I literally, like I was there, like, nah, it's cool, peace, whatever, it's gonna be fine. But obviously, and I can respect it now. Like obviously, her emotions were high because she slept with a guy. She felt done over, which is why obviously what you didn't see is she went to the toilet. She obviously said sorry to me, and I said I'm not apologising because I didn't come for you. But then she went to the toilet and was crying, and then I did go out there and I did apologise, and I said it's cool, whatever. And I said I understand that obviously you're in your feelings, like you slept with the guy, so it's understandable. But yeah, so she like apologised that it come from like a jealous place, rather, which is gonna be you're in a situation, and if I'd have slept with him and somebody had done me over, I'd be fuming too.
Yeah. So one thing about you, and one thing I admire about you, is you don't hold back. And you don't care. You literally say it how it is and you don't hold back. And I love that. Even though sometimes I didn't agree with it, but I love the fact that you hold back. Do you feel like after saying all that you're saying right now, do you feel like watching it back and looking back, you maybe perhaps you wasn't happy with the narrative that they're giving you? Or do you feel like you was being misunderstood from the view?
Like, do you know the funny thing? Like before I went in there, my friends would be like, Danika, don't be the angry black girl. Don't be the angry black girl. Come out like, Danika, they made you the angry black girl. And all my friends and family know that I'm so far-fetched from that girl. Like I'm literally like, but like positive vibes, always like bubbly. Like I haven't had any arguments since that dinner party. Do you know what I mean? Since being in that situation. So I think I wouldn't change anything differently. Obviously, when you're in that situation, you do act within a certain way, and you're heightened. And we're in dinner parties for like 5-6 hours. You know what I mean? Like you're not getting the like drinks you might necessarily want. I probably wanted a vodka. I didn't want a wine, but you're getting fed the drinks. You're getting like the food that they want you to have. You're in all your different comfort zones, so you're not going to be your natural self because it'd be impossible because you're not in your natural environment. So I definitely don't. Yeah, I don't regret anything I did. Obviously, within the show and the edits. Obviously, I mean, it don't look great. And luckily, I am thick-skinned. I know who I am. My friends know who I am. Like, and everybody knows that it's far-fetched for me, and I can take it with a pinch of salt. Which, thank God. And I spoke to psychiatrist the other day because we all had like a final call, and I literally said to her before when I went in the show, like I said to them, like, no, I don't care what people think, whatever. And I said to her, I said, now I actually know. I actually don't care what people think. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I don't regret anything, and even like at the reunion when like I just can't process people's bullshit, and I think that's what pisses me off when people actually chat shit. I can't hold my mouth. I could have said a couple more things at dinner party at the reunion, and I did actually hold my tongue. This was actually me on holding my tongue on situations, because when people say stuff like when Kelly said, oh well, I would have said no to Mike. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. Like, why? Like, I can't hear people's fakeness. I feel like I run through my life really real, and all my friends do, and like everybody I'm around, and even my friends or whatever, I think you're lying. Like, I'll call them out on it as well. Like, that's just how we are. Like, we're just very real. Like, what you see is what you get. So I think them being in a situation where people aren't so real, I feel like that was a struggle, and I feel like you see people not being their true self, and to me, I feel like that's sad that they can't be their true self. But I do understand from a TV perspective why they weren't their self.
Like, you went in there for the love. You didn't go in there for the bromance, as you mentioned. Do you feel like they could have done better in finding you a better match?
100%. Like the hard thing is, like both of them, I did actually get on really well with. I could tell why I was matched with them. Like, they were positive vibes, they were banter, they were cool. But from an outsider's point of view, like when putting pictures together, I feel like, and talking to them, I feel like they could have grasped that it probably wouldn't work. Like it's almost like we're almost too similar. I don't know, like it was too clashy with them. Do you know what I mean? Why they were bromances, because I can be bromancy, but from like a sexual point of view, like it was just not there. Do you know what I mean? And I can't fake that either. Like,
and that's what I love about you, because it's funny, because I feel like out of everyone, your communication, you were straight up with both guys. You literally was so straight up with them. You told them how you felt. You didn't even like, you know, you just said it how it is. Like you, especially with Mo, because I know that Mo mentioned that he felt like he felt like you wasn't giving him the opportunity. But I feel like you gave him the chance and he just wasn't feeling it. Like,
yeah.
Wasn't there, right?
No, 100%. And that's the thing, like you know, like not given a chance 3 days, like what can I get from that? Do you know what I mean? Like you try and kiss me and then I'd be like, no. Like I feel like us as people, we know, like I know, like, and I know my mum always used to say like it can grow whatever. No, I feel like when you have a little vibe with somebody, you have that vibe, and that's what grasps you. And it doesn't really necessarily matter like all about their looks or everything, but it is just a vibe. And yeah, like Lord was on there and I had a little certain with him, like a little vibe, but it was more because I like couldn't have it, one, and I didn't know him. Do you know what I mean? Like even through it, like everybody was like, oh yeah, he's a bit of a dick, and I was like, yeah, but he's not been a dick to me. And I'm not somebody be like, oh, you shouldn't like them, because I'll find out for myself. Do you know what I mean? And who knows what would happen if we'd have been in a house for 48 hours or whatever. I might have been like, yeah, he's a dick. Do you know what I mean? But I weren't going to let everybody else's impact on that, let them like guide my judgment.
I love that. Now it's very interesting that you say all of that, because obviously during your journey you mentioned that you was looking for someone that you can perhaps like open up to, let your guard down. Do you feel like you have found that in your current partner that you're with right now?
Yeah, 100%. Like I feel like with him, do you know what it was, yeah, I don't even know. It literally, like, I come out the show on the Wednesday and I literally met him on the Saturday.
Oh.
Like literally, and I knew him like a year ago. I knew him a year ago because we was went to like a mutual festival, and I literally said to my sister, I said, he's a bit alright. And my sister was like, yeah, he is. But then I followed him on Instagram and didn't get nothing back. Right. And then a year later, he was at my friend's baby shower and I saw him there. And like something I learned from the show is like I gained my confidence, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like you can like call people out or do whatever. And I literally said to him when we was at baby shower, because he kept looking at me. Do you know somebody's keep looking at you? And I knew he kept looking at me.
Yeah.
At least you clearly like me because you keep looking at me.
Yeah.
And he literally said, he was like, yeah, I do, but I didn't think you like me. I was like, well, how do you know? How are you going to know? And then I drunk song to him too. Lovely.
Oh, okay.
And then literally from then, like before I went in the show, I'd never, obviously apart from being in the show, I'd never spent like 48 hours with a guy, like 48 hours with a guy. I'd never been on holiday with a guy, like none of that. And then obviously like this last year, like me and Gus is like, I spent like all the time with him. Like we've been on 2 holidays, we're going on another holidays. Like he's really thoughtful. Like we've not had one argument. Do you know what I mean? Like he really like, I don't know, he's just understand it. I literally said to my friend, I'm like, it's taken me to 31 to realise like what a real guy needs to be like. And it makes me feel sad for people that put up for anything less. And I never knew that before because I'd always been in like shitty situations or a bit toxic or whatever. And I just thought that was my normal. And now I'm like, this is
peaceful.
Normal. Yeah, it's so peaceful. Like it's not stressful. It's like, it's just easy. Like you just get on, like you can do everything with him. Like he come to the basketball game with me. Like we can go to festivals together. Like he's not insecure at all. Do you know what I mean? Like I can still go out with my girls and do everything. Like this is just peaceful. Like this is what people's missing. This is what people's missing. And I'm like, yeah, it's just calm. And with him as well, like he'd been single since like for 7 years. And he'd never told a girl he loved her. And I said to him, like, when we've been talking, I said, do you know how lucky you are that this is all so nice for you? I was like, obviously, with people with trauma, it's just people in the past ruin that first experience because we're all such clean souls at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're so genuine. We take everybody's word and everything. And then it's the people along the way that break you up and then make you so guarded. And it's just like, yeah, I just feel like it's sad that people do that to people and then it ends like that. So I'm grateful that he hasn't had to have that. Because I'm not psycho, not that I know of.
But you know what? I love that for you, and I'm glad that you shared that with us, because there are a lot of people that were like goes into a relationship with a clean slate. They come from a good heart, and then it's just one situation in a relationship that makes them guarded. And I feel like you brought that into the show, and you actually, I feel like a lot of people can relate to your story, which is now you're now loved up, booed up.
I know. Oh, it's crazy. And if you said this a year ago, I would have literally never believed it. I would have absolutely never believed it. And I would say to people now, I'm that person that's like, no, it really does happen when you least expect it. Like, fuck off. I'm like, I feel like I'm that person now, because I wouldn't have, like, yeah, I weren't looking for it. I'd literally just come out of that. I was just processing still that, and yeah, come along, and there is real genuine people out there. And even like Mo and Jack made me realize that, because they were cool, like, and they were nice, and they seemed genuine. So they did open my eyes to be like, oh, there is nice people out there. Do you know what I mean? There is guys that think about your feelings, don't turn your feelings onto you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just a complete different kettle of fish. And I hope everybody finds that, because yeah, as long as you're a good person. If you're not a good person, you don't deserve it.
Has he watched the show, and what does he make of it?
Yeah, he watched it. He was actually fine with it, to be fair. He said it's a bit awkward, obviously, when I was kissing Lioyd, and like like he's obviously never seen me angry. So he, like, in my life. So when he saw that, he was like, "Bryce." And so sometimes when I'm ghetto, but I'm like, I call him brother all the time. Like, I call my boyfriend brother. He's like, "Stop him," I'm like, I can't help it. It's just like, it's just my way of speaking. I can't help it. But he didn't. Yeah, he was actually fine with him. And the thing is, his cousin was India, who went into Love Island, so he knows. He is, which was so nice, and his families like know about it as well. And they all said to me, they were like, no matter what this says on the TV, we know our D. And I'm like, yeah, you know me. And they were like so humble about it. They were like, it's not going to change what we think about you anyway. Like, we know what you're like. And I was like, yeah. So they was just lovely about it. They weren't like insecure about it at all. So just humble. Like, that's what I mean. Like, everything's just, he's just humble. He's just secure. He's like calm.
Yeah, he knows he's got his lady, and he knows.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, he don't care. He's like, I'm winning anyway. Like, yeah.
Hey, I'm sure a lot of people, even the viewers, even myself, were a bit confused by the back and forth between you and Kelly and Amy, because I feel, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but why was it an issue when Kelly kept bringing up about her age?
Because it was at like one of the first dinner parties, and she said, she basically said that like nobody else understands, because she like basically said nobody else understands because she's 38, like obviously it's a difference, whatever. And because basically saying about love, like she deserves love. And then if they were saying like, yeah, obviously you deserve love. And my point was, everybody deserves love. No matter how old you are, everybody deserves love. And everybody goes through their own situations towards it. To make it a big deal, do you know what I mean? Like, it was just everything she said. Like, obviously you don't see how many times she actually mentioned her age, but every time she just mentioned her age, it was just her age. Like, it wasn't nothing around it. It was just like, yeah, but I'm 38, I'm 38. No, but take a process. Like, don't, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I think you put pressure on yourself, and you've been in this situation, and yeah, like obviously saying, like, she's doing a post about like empowering people. And like, I don't know, she said that two people said about her age and now like empowering, but I just think it's like contradicting, because she's saying like that empowering, but then the next breath she was saying to Danielle, oh yeah, well, being malicious, like I slept with Mike, and calling Danielle the other woman. So it was so much stuff like behind it that she just grated on me.
First reaction is like, because obviously she was explaining herself, and then you were like, oh my god, it's so jarring.
Yeah, because it wasn't like, it was literally like the dinner party before, and like it was.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get.
Yeah,
it
wasn't.
They didn't show that. You see.
No, they didn't show that. This wasn't the first time that she'd mentioned her age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this
so
is
it was like multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. She just kept bringing up her age, and I was over it. Like, stop bringing up your age. Just say how you feel. Like, it's everything doesn't need to be age related. But yes, obviously she got touchy about that, and then Amy started, and then it all fucking started.
Watching it back, do you feel like perhaps maybe, you know, like you said, like the experiment can be like very tense, like it can be very tense, and perhaps, you know, she really liked Mike, she really had strong feelings for him, and then obviously perhaps she's never been in that situation before, and she probably thought that this was going to be her husband. You know, when you look at something, but like, you know what, I see us like being together like long term, and she probably thought like, you know, and then feelings all over the place, she's out here trying to be vulnerable and express herself, and then you guys are just jumping on her.
Yeah,
100%. Where she's coming from.
Yeah, 100%. Like it was definitely harsh. But the thing is, I can't even remember like the conversation before it. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously, 4 minutes. What you see is like 4 hours or whatever. I can't remember the conversation that we had before. It must have been in regards to it. And when Amy said obviously about it, I think like she said it in a harsh way. But I think she just meant like it shouldn't have been like, I don't know. The thing is with me, how I always act with people, like I have a guard up, obviously, so I protect myself. So within like 24 hours, whatever, I'm still having that guard up. You know what I mean? Because it takes a lot to that come out, because being vulnerable is in a really scary place. So I guess I just felt like she said, like she's been working on herself for like the last 8 years. 8 years. That's what she said. Like she's been working out herself for then. I just feel like that is like the key thing. Like protect yourself, protect your feelings. And I personally wouldn't have went into it so openly. So I think maybe I was feeling like that way about it, which is why I was like, yeah, it was just too much. It was very intense.
What do you make of like everybody else saying that, you know, you guys don't know how it feels because she's had experiences, and, you know, like it's different for you guys, but it's different for her because obviously she's in that age and she's experienced a lot. So you guys might not know how she's felt or what experiences she went through. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. And the thing is, that's with anybody though, isn't it? Nobody knows the path that anybody has walked or experienced that they've had personally. So I feel like it's hard to say on it, because at the end of the day, we're all human and we all go through our own stages in life, and we've all had shitty situations. Do you know what I mean? My first boyfriend was self-harming all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like it was the most toxic thing, which is why I healed for 5 years and didn't want to get in anything and was really scared to make my next steps. You know what I mean? And I feel like, yeah, maybe it just triggered me a bit, because she said like, well, I'm fair, and I was thinking, well, you don't know what maybe I've been through. Do you know what I mean? Like in my past or whatever, yeah, she's 38, but it's all different. That's what I said. Like, obviously she's saying like all our friends now have had kids or whatever, but in my age range, all my friends have had kids. You know what I mean? Like my godson's 10 years old. Do you know what I mean? They're all I'm like 10 years behind, like, well, more than 10 years behind, like everybody else as well. And I'm still 30. Like your clock goes down from the age you get to 30. So I could have been in the same situation. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it 38 or 30. I know she's like, yeah, it's 30 or whatever. Your clock still goes from 30. Your eggs still go. So who knows to the difference between when I'm 30 or when I'm 38? Do you know what I mean? So I think the point I was getting at is you can't just keep saying, well, I'm 38, I'm 38, I'm 38, I'm 38. Because we all go through this process. And even when I was in the situation in there, I was like, yeah, I might have kids. I don't know if I'll have kids, because if I don't meet the right person, then I'm not sure. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to just have a father who's anybody. I've always wanted. I've got a good dad myself. I've always wanted a good father. So I wouldn't just have a kid with anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like she maybe misunderstood how relatable I probably was to her. Maybe a conversation was had or whatever, but it never got to that.
Did you guys have a conversation off camera to sort it out, or is it like, yeah, we don't talk? You don't talk?
The only one I didn't follow off on Instagram.
Oh wow! Oh, no. So you guys didn't get to sort it out, and basically, like, you know, because it was really intense. I didn't. It was very uncomfortable to watch. I'm not gonna lie. So I thought maybe you guys must have, like, you know, talked it out, because I feel like it was just a misunderstanding between the two people. Because I'm not gonna lie, you explaining it to me, I get it now, because I didn't get it before.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
To calm down, like.
Yeah, 100%. It's no, and we didn't after. And then I think obviously then Danielle come in, and I was close with Danielle, and then obviously so then I knew when she was like saying stuff, like calling Danielle the other woman and that. And then from then I was like, no, it's just not my, it's not my cup of tea.
My cup of tea,
No,
yeah.
yeah, I did one thing, like, and regardless, and a couple of people do it, whatever. One thing, I don't never need to go under somebody to get over somebody. Like, I feel like it should be fair game. Do you know what I mean? You both come into this process fair game. So try like slide little digs in that to try and get the other person off them. I just think it's very manipulative, and I don't fuck with that. Like, just hold your own. Do you know what I mean? Like, calm in it. If you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Like, may the best winner win.
I thought they were friends.
Who? Danielle and Kelly?
Yeah.
No.
Well, she posted a picture of her and Kelly and.
Weird. Yeah, don't know why she posted that. And it's the most unflattering picture of Danielle as well. So.
I thought it was a cute picture.
No.
It wasn't. Okay.
No. Yeah. No, that wasn't. Yeah.
I thought I'm not gonna lie, I thought they sorted it out. I honestly did that. They sorted it out. That, which is why, like, you know, I thought you guys sorted it out too. Like,
no, it wasn't like, no, they didn't have beef after. They didn't have beef after, but it was just like, I guess, I mean, when you speak to Danielle, whatever, just other little things. But the thing is, Danielle was so over it at the reunion. And I literally kept saying, Danielle, speak up. But Danielle was like, I'm locked off. I'm over it. I can't bother to say my now. She was like, what's the point? It's no point. Whereas, you know me, like, oh, that's what I was like, I had to jump in on that bit. And I'm like, but Danielle she was so over it. She just couldn't bother to give it the energy anymore. She was like, I don't need to give this my energy anymore. Like, I'm not going to say it. But I said to her after, I said, I wish you would have just spoke up, because, like, yeah, it's just jarring. But not everybody can speak up, eh?
Watching it back and being around the cast, all the other singles and the couples, were you shocked by some of the couples that didn't work out on the outside world? Like, did you see someone you thought this could actually work on the outside world? And
yeah, I was shocked with Zaralina and Lioyd.
Yeah,
because they were like, at the last dinner party, she literally said like she'd never felt like this before. So I thought, I mean, if you never felt like this before, surely that's going somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And of course, like, earlier on when we were talking about, like, you know, the fact that you stay true to yourself, do you feel like when you watch it back and you being around the people, because you were there, you know how it went down, do you feel like when you look at certain people and you were like, you literally went on there for clout? Like, why are you on the show? Like, is there someone that you probably looked at and thought, you literally went there for the wrong reasons? Like, you know why you went in there?
I mean,
you don't want to say it, do you?
I'm trying to say low-key on the drama. Like, obviously Dan just didn't like either of the two. Do you know what I mean? So do you know what I mean? He did, so I think, and the amount of times I had to defend Dan at dinner parties that you don't see, and I'm like, okay. And then at one dinner party, I was like, okay, Dan, you're on your own this time. I was like, I can't defend you. But I think he just didn't like either of the people. So I don't think, like, and I think, like, if Brody would have got the opportunity to actually get with somebody that she liked, then she would have got with them. Do you know what I mean? So I think everybody went in there with the right intentions, but obviously the bumps along the way or whatever probably changed that, depending on how they felt, because it's very disheartening. Like, when you go in a process and you feel like, oh, you're gonna have a good vibe, and I was like, I'm just glad to be staying with like a guy for 3 weeks. Hope it's a vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like, that to me sounded like such a vibe from the outside. So then when you get in there and you're like, you're put down, you're actually fuming. Like, it's you go from such a high in emotions, like, this is gonna be really good, to the ground, like, it's savage. So yeah, I feel like everybody definitely wanted to meet somebody from it, but obviously their matches just weren't matching.
You are very close with Danielle. Danielle, is there anyone that you still stay in touch with? Like, what's popping on the group chat?
Not a lot. We had one group chat, nothing's popping. It was just welfare's group chat. That was the only group chat. And then obviously we are just Danielle. Like, Danielle is calm. Like, I really get her. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can really relate. So her and Amy, like, she was calm as well. but they're the only two people. Like Danielle was the most, like I talk to her all the time. Like she's definitely my girl, and she'll be my girl for life. But the other ones don't be like. Obviously, I saw them when we went to the basketball game, and that was like good vibes. Obviously, everybody wasn't there. Mike just invited a few of us, and it was nice to see everybody because obviously I hadn't seen him since a year ago. So yeah, it was good to see everybody. But no, like just Danielle, like I said at the at the reunion, obviously you didn't see me on the couch because obviously Mo weren't there, so it didn't make sense for it to be there. But like one of the questions that she asked me, she was like, "Oh, do you think like you was in the wrong for like going with like the guy or whatever?" And Emily, and I was like, "No," I was like, respectfully, like none of these people are my friends. Yeah, I come in this process, but I didn't come here to make friends. Do you know what I mean? I've got friends, I've got good friends. I don't need no new friends. I think people get confused thinking that you owe people loyalties. You know what I mean? My friends are my friends, and like my family, I'm loyal to them, and they have my loyalties. Like respectfully, everybody else, they don't get that same pedestal. Do you know what I mean? It's confusing to me that people think that they get that respect from a get-go, because that's not how it works.
And technically you're all single, so
yeah, exactly, we were literally all single, so I don't know. Yeah, so that was all right. But no,
what's the vibe with you and Emily then? Are you guys cool?
Oh yeah, I mean, do you know what? A couple of days before the episode, no, we were cool. Like at the reunion, after the reunion, like we like talked out. Like we went out after, talked out, and we were like, yeah, like it's cool, like everything's fine, don't worry. And we was absolutely fine. And then like the day before the episode was coming on, she messaged me on Instagram. So the episode's coming out. I just want to say I don't want any online drama. And then I was skinning with my boyfriend, because I was like, when we watched it, I said, yeah, no wonder she fucking messaged me. She cussing me the fuck out. About fucking, I can taste that what she had for breakfast from here. But I literally messaged back and I was like, no, I'm not on this online drama. Do you know what I mean? I don't need no online beef. That's not a bit of me. It's childish in my eyes. She was like, oh, I'm relieved. Like, let's just find the funny side of it or whatever. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. But then when I watched it, I was like, nah, this is why she messaged me. And I literally always say, like, the thing is, because I'm in a comfortable situation, like I feel like I've been really calm about it, and I've not been online, like I've not been beefing or whatever. And I even said to my boyfriend, like, if I wasn't with him and in like the situation, I would have been completely different, and I can openly admit that. Like I would have definitely been, probably, because I seen like on one of the lives, Kelly's like, well, I don't know why Danika don't like me. I would have jumped up and be like, well, let me tell you. So
wait, is this Kelly that said that?
On one of the lives that they've been on, yeah. So they'd be doing lives.
And she said that I understand why Danika does not like me.
Yeah, so she said, and obviously I don't like her. She's fake. Like I feel like I said that at the union.
Looking back, do you feel like when it comes to that whole Lioyd situation, you know, the Lioyd that you were, you know, exploring your connection with, obviously you say that you don't regret anything, but do you feel like you probably would have went about things differently? Not in terms of the loyalty thing, but perhaps maybe, you know what, he was a red flag from the get-go. It wasn't it, like.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably, yeah, I mean, yeah, toxic becomes attractive, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It does. Toxic becomes attractive, especially when you're in that situation. You're like, oh, and because there was nothing else going. So yeah, and I kept saying to them, I was like, I feel like he's just misunderstood. And they were like, Danika, do you not think everybody's misunderstood? And I was like, well, kind of, yeah, because we don't all walk everybody's path, so we don't know what's happened to lead them up to that. And it was one of the nights that we snuck out, like, that we went out and we got in trouble for going out and that. But like he like opened his heart to me and like got upset and was like literally like crying and everything, like literally.
The same Lioyd that we watched on the show. Wow. Literally crying, and like got really upset. And this is when he told me that he slept with Emily. So he like got really upset and he said all this, and he was like, so I just feel like he's just got a lot of his own. Do you know what I mean? Like, and after that, I was like, no, it's a bit too messy for me. Like that I feel like that was my like, oh no, he's definitely a bit too messy for me. But I definitely do think that he is still a bit misunderstood. I still think he is. I know the way he portrays, and he don't say the right things, and I think he almost tries and gets his back up about it. Do you know what I mean? He's got this whole defense, and he's trying to. Well, he definitely went on there for clout. To be fair, actually, one person that went on there for clout, him. I forgot about him. I was thinking
Lioyd went on there for clout,
like, because Lioyd actually wasn't it. Who was it that mentioned at the reunion that he actually said that he went on another reality TV show?
No, he did. He was going on to another Love Island, like Love Island Norwegian or somewhere in another country. He was literally going on it, and that's why he ended up leaving, because they found out. Well, the thing is, he told Emily, and then Emily snitched on him. So then obviously they found out and they weren't happy with it. And then so he ended up leaving our show, and he didn't end up going on the other show anyway. So then
wow.
fuming, because obviously a breach of contract, and they had contacts with the other show. So it was a breach of contract. So then he was like, yeah, fuming even more. But he definitely goes on it. Yeah, he definitely goes on it for the clout. But then he does like hop around a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have a stable job. So I think it for a bit of that as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's like money making for him. Like that is what he classes as a job. Crazy.
Wow. And it's interesting because you never know who's got the right intentions when you go on these shows. And
no, and it's really unfair as well if you get with somebody, or you're paired with somebody that don't have the right intentions. Yeah, you are done over, and you do feel fucked over. And you'd think it'd be like the show's somewhat responsibility to kind of guess. Like I feel like you have Zoom calls with them and that, but they don't really know you. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they could go in a bit deeper with it to find out who's genuine or not. But I mean, everybody can fake it to begin with. Do you know what I mean? Like in relationships or whatever, it takes a good couple of weeks for them to blossom out, even like 3 months. So
yeah,
they don't have the resources to check if everybody's genuine. It's just a bit savage if they're not.
So what would you say has been your best highlights of the whole journey of you being on the show?
But the rest, I would say meeting Danielle.
Oh, really? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, 100%. Danielle is definitely the highlight. I mean, like, it definitely taught me to be more communicative. Like, even in like in my relationship now, I've learned that you have to speak about it, and you have to speak about it before it lets it sit. Like, obviously, that day when I argued with Jack, I'd literally sat on that a whole like 24 hours before then I blew, and I was literally fuming because it'd been ticking and ticking and ticking. Nobody to talk to, like, so it was like a ticking time bomb. Whereas now, like, I think there's been one situation where I weren't gonna say enough or whatever, and then I was like, got up and I was just gonna walk out the situation. And he was like, "Where are you going?" And then I was like, and then I said it, and it was just a misinterpretation. He was like, "I didn't even mean it in that way," and I was like, "Oh, I can't even patronising." I thought he was being patronising in something he said, and he was like, "No, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Like, sorry, you felt like that." But normally, I'd have walked away from that situation, let it boil and boil and boil, and get fuming about it, rather than just saying it. And I've definitely learned, like, there's so many misunderstandings that you have in relationships. If you just have the conversation, you're probably on different sides of the table. But then you have it and you're like, oh, but otherwise, like before, I'd be let it sieve and sieve and sieve, and then it'd boil, and you'd be like, you're fucking dickhead, and they'd be like, whoa, like, I didn't even mean that. But by that time, I've probably already broken up with them. This is officially now my longest relationship.
Oh, really?
Of seeing somebody, like, literally, like, I literally had 2 relationships before. My first one was the one that was really toxic, and it was like on and off all the time. The second one, he was a lot younger than me, and like we was actually only official for like 6 months. I booked a holiday, didn't never make that holiday. Like, it just kind of faded out before then. And then this is my 3rd relationship, and it's just it's actually my longest. Because normally I was before, like, I would talk to somebody, I'd be really into them for the first month. And then my friends were like, oh, yeah, we'll see how long this lasts. Like, the first month, oh, my God, we're going to get married, have kids. Like, oh, my God, they're so good. After the month, I'm like, I don't think I like them. And they're like, no, Danika, give it another couple of weeks. It might change. We're not doing this again. I'm like, what am I going to message them? And then I'm like, and I hate awkward situations. I hate messaging anybody. Like, I'm literally that person that'll send a message, put my phone on flight mode, not want to look at it. Like, I literally hate it. Like, even before, like, I've like done it over text, and they call me. I'm like, why are you calling me? Someone's talking about it. I was like, I'm just not really feeling it. What are you not feeling? I'm just not feeling it. Leave me alone. I hate awkward, so it's definitely broke a barrier towards the awkward conversations. And I know now that it's okay to have awkward conversations. They don't have to be so uncomfortable. But it just used to just make me so hot, and I just like a child. It makes me really childish. Like, the thing is with my boyfriend now, like, when he first met me and got to know me, he was like, Danika, I didn't realize how soft you actually are. And I was like,
yeah, you're softy deep inside.
I'm such a softie on the inside. Like, so unless you get past it, like people don't realize it. But yeah, it's cute.
Would you say that, dating in your 30s, you've known, like, you've learned a lot about yourself? Would you say it's better dating in your 30s and you've learned so much about yourself than in your 20s? Like when we spoke about like being at peace, whereas in your 20s, the toxic was always the vibe, whereas now you're literally considering peace over anything. Your peace is your priority, basically.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like in your 20s as well, you let a lot more slide, I guess, within your situation. Like, and you're like, oh, it's okay, like they've cancelled, or oh, it's okay, like they're an hour late, or they haven't messaged me for 24 hours or whatever. Like all these unacceptable things that you just in your head is like acceptable. It literally. And when I was like 30, I was like, no, I would like, the guy that I was seeing before, I was seeing my guy now. He was old. He was 38. I was 38-year-old man. I thought, cool, he's older, whatever, give it a try, whatever. Seeing him for 3 months, and then like it must have been like one morning, and then I was like, okay, like, and he basically said, he was like, oh well, I just kind of want like a fuck buddy. But bearing in mind, like I was seeing him every weekend, we were going on dates and everything. And I was like, well, that's not what this is. I don't know what you think that is, but that's not what this is. And I was like, okay, then, well, that's cool. I was like, well, just so you know, this is the last time we're going to see each other then. And he was like, really? Well, I wish we didn't have this conversation. And I said, really? I said, well, I'm glad we did. I literally like got ready, like left his bed and literally called my friend on the way. I was like, no, I was like, dead at that, whatever. That evening he tried messaging me and I was like, oh no, we're not doing that. I said, no, we're not doing this. And he didn't message back. I didn't hear from him. And through that situation, I was so headstrong. I was like, absolutely not. I was like, I don't need to be that. Like, I know my worth. And I feel like it took me to know my worth, to not accepting that, because I was like, I'm too good for that anyway. I don't need it. And because he'd not long come out of a relationship or whatever, which is absolutely fine. But like, he didn't have the communication either. And then skinning, and then literally like I'd been with like my guy for like 8 months, and he DM'd me message requests. And I was like, oh, I was like, now I get the last laugh. I was like, he was like, girls with bruises are still pretty, or whatever. Because I always even on the show, I always have bruises on my legs, and it was like, girls with bruises are so beautiful, whatever. Like, he literally DM'd me twice, and obviously I even told my guy now. I was like, how jokes are that? I was like, see, a guy always knows, like, they will always come back. But guaranteed, if I'd have stayed in that situation and being like, oh, okay, whatever, and it faded or whatever, then it wouldn't be nothing. Like, it's so important to like literally know your worth, and I can't stress that enough. Like, once you know your worth, everything else is so much easier, and you walk away from situations with your head held high because you're like, I'm better than that. And that's all I think in my head. And it wasn't, I think I was even like tearing up even on one way back, because I was like, oh, he seemed like a really good guy, like it was gonna be calm. And I was like, but no, I was like, absolutely not. Like, have some respect for yourself. And that's what, yeah, I had to check myself, like, nah, bitch, have some respect for yourself. You're better than that, cool, like, and then you work through it. So I feel like when you reach over that tipping point and understand that, everything else is easier, and then you don't accept anything, and you're so comfortable in yourself. And then when girls have that, like, because it's cool, you could have kept doing that, do you know what I mean? Like, it would have been easy, it was going on dates, but who's going to end up getting hurt? Me.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely not. But in younger days, like, obviously it'd be normal to just, and the thing is, guys ain't stupid. They don't tell you they're just looking for a fuck buddy or whatever, because they know us girls will be like, no, I don't want that. So you walk. So what they do is lead you on into this situation of an expectation, and then it never leads to it. No, you need to set the expectations. You need to say what you want, what it is, so then they know. Because if they say that, then that's absolutely fine. You're allowed to just want that, but you need to communicate it.
You were so spot on. This is going to be a message for a lot of the ladies. We
can't.
Be
100%. 100%. Like, it's actually crazy. And when you do that, you just feel it's like a relief. I feel like it's like relief, and you walk out of situations, and I'm not angry about anything. Like, I still weren't angry with him. I didn't need to message him. I weren't doing that, but I knew it was the right thing to do, and I was comfortable with that because I knew my worth within it, and I knew that I was better than that. Do you know what I mean? I didn't need to do that for him to like know my worth. And I mean, he missed me 8 months, so he knew I was worth it too, but it was a little too late because
they always come back when it's too late as well.
Boy, they always come back. Like, and it's so satisfying. Like, it's so satisfying because it was hurtful at the time. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. And then I never heard back from him. I was thinking, oh, fucking hell, no. Year later, yeah, various. Cool. Now it's cool. Didn't reply. Still got the last word. Not to worry.
Now, before you go, I just want to say to you, honestly, you've been amazing. I feel like the show didn't actually get the attraction that it did. I know it was only series one, but
Yeah.
definitely brought it in. Like, you guys brought in the heat, the entertainment, the drama, the tears, the laughter, everything. But what's next for you? What have you got going on? I know you are a personal trainer, fit with Fenty. Tell us more about that. What made you start? What made you start your journey as being a personal trainer?
I had a personal trainer and I really enjoyed him. And when I used to I went traveling, went traveling for 6 months just pre-COVID, and I never wanted to be in like a full-time job again. So I used to work like 8 to 6 Monday to Friday, and it just all seemed like a lot. And then when I had him, I was like, I feel like I could do this. Like the energy that he gave me and made me feel good about myself. Like I like that. So I felt like I could give that to other people, give that to clients. And I enjoyed fitness. So I felt like it just went well together. So last year I did my personal training course, and now I'm working there and I really enjoy it. Like it's really satisfying. I mean, even my clients hate me. Everybody hates me in the hour. They're like, look at me, I'm like, one more set, and they're like, Danika, I'm like, it's okay. I was like, I've been there. I was like, I've literally been there. I was like, my PT all the time. I was like, it's really painful. Like, but I just feel like it's just fun, and I just like making them feel better and them being their best self, because gym can be a scary place. And I feel like a lot of it just comes from like confidence, and like even therapy, like you're almost like their therapist for the hour, because you talk to them like, how's their week or whichever. Like it's just a very satisfying job, and I get a lot of joy out of it. And I don't have to work as many hours as like full time, and I'm my own boss. So I just feel like it just works well for me. And it's just vibes. You know what I mean? Like a gym's a good place to be. Most people in the gym are like good vibes, like doing classes, like 6:30 a.m. class, you know what I mean? Like they're the first person they're going to see. So it's nice to give them that energy. And then they're like, yeah, have a good day. I know you will, because you've done 6:30 a.m. class. Because I knew my ass wasn't going to be up at 6:30 a.m. if I didn't have work.
It's very interesting that you say that, because I feel like a lot of people feel like they need to starve themselves and just like work out and just like,
you know what, this was actually me. I was the person that starved themselves, and literally I'd be like, well, I lost any weight, so I won't have bread with my soup. I literally eat like 1,000 calories a day, like, and I'd be like so focused on that. And then it was when I got my personal trainer, and he gave me 1,800 calories. I said 1,000. I said, that's too much. I said 1,000. I said, that seems like a lot of food. And he was like, no, that's like what you should be having. And then I had my own process with it, to be like, oh no, I need to eat. Oh no, like it's okay to eat. I'm not going to put on weight if I eat. And I used to be so hung up on the scales, like, oh, well, I've put on 1 kg. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just such a battle that I feel like it's actually really sad, because I feel like I wasted so many years of my life being in that battle and being like, oh well, I can't eat that, I can't do that. When really all you need to do is live a like healthy, balanced lifestyle. But you do need to eat. And I think this is what people don't think. You 100% like that is the key to this. Like, and a lot as well, like 1,600 calories, that's a deficit. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a deficit for me, and that's still a lot of calories. So I think when people said, they think, oh, if I don't eat, I will lose weight. Yeah, you will lose weight, but you won't lose the right way. And yeah, it's not good for you, and it's not maintainable. So it's nice to have people now that I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, you can eat that, and just make sure you work out, just make sure you do your 10,000 steps. Do you know what I mean? Like just all the little things. I mean, I say this, my mum downstairs definitely don't do her 10,000 steps. Like she literally is a PT. I tell her all the time, go for a walk, do this. And my stepdad, I'll go downstairs and they're just eating crisp and they just don't move all day, and they're so annoying.
yeah, because people think like you can eat wherever you want, right? You can eat wherever you want, but like
100%, you can eat
body.
Yeah, 100%. Like you, as long as you, like most people, the thing that they don't eat a lot of is protein. That is the biggest thing. Like I'm always like, you need at least 100 grams a day, and they're like 100 grams of protein. Like that's the biggest thing that I think people don't realize in their head, that they need a lot of. Like, but yeah, literally, you can eat what you want as long as it's balanced and you're not eating massive portions or anything. Like I eat more now than I have in my life. Like I've never eaten like what I eat now, and that is to be training and like and happiest that I've felt. Like in the mornings when I used to be at BMW and be with my friends, like we used to all do like a breakfast bar for breakfast, then I'd have like soup without any bread for lunch, then I've had a little meal for like dinner. Like I was literally just not eating, and I was losing the weight and my scales was going down, but I didn't feel healthy. And now when I look at some of the pictures, I was like, no, I actually look like too slim.
Yeah. Well, you look amazing. You're glowing. And for the people that want to get fit, they want to get their life together, where can they find you? Where can they find, Danika, Fit with Fenty? Where can they even book you?
They can find Fit with Fenty at Pure Gym in Reading. If you want to come here, oh my God, literally, I had a guy the other day, and he was from Uxbridge, and he messaged and he was like, oh, is it okay, like, come for a consultation? I was thinking, he's from Uxbridge, but why does he want to come with it? That's like 50 minutes there, 50 minutes back. I was so confused. I was like, why does he want to come? Like, and then I even said to like my boyfriend, I was like, I think it's a bit weird. I was like, is it weird? I was like, I don't know. And I was like, you do realize I'm in Reading? And he was like, yeah, I want to come. And I was like, okay, come for a consultation. He come for a consultation. We had the consultation. At the end of it, he was like, so yeah, I saw you on Love Triangle. It was like, me and my friends were watching it, and we was like, yeah, this girl's lit. And I was like, okay.
Has he come back, or?
He literally messaged me earlier saying, Danika, when can I book in with you? I'm like, it's a 3-hour round trip. Like, I don't understand.
All the way.
Sorry, I still replied. I don't really know what to do with it. I'm like, oh, it's a bit awkward, but I don't know. I literally said, he said, what have you learned from it? I said, well, in my current relationship, I'm very communicative. But yeah, you can find me in Pure Gym at Reading. Holla. If you need any information, you can find me on Fit with Fenty on Instagram.
Yes, make sure you guys book her in. If you're based in Reading, don't travel 5 years away, child.
Nah, yeah, literally. Reading or the surrounding areas is all okay.
Yes. So if it's like Sheffield, Reading, if you're trying to look for a female PT, then Danika is ready to get your body right.
Got you, boo.
Well, I want to say thank you so much, Danika, for coming to my platform. I know you're very busy. You've had a long day, and honestly, it means a lot. Like I said, you literally stayed true to yourself. Would you do another reality TV show? And if so, what would it be?
I would only do like Race for Life, like that race around the world, or like that, or like I would do them fun-filled ones.
I can definitely imagine like some kind of like fitness, like hiking, them scary like physical fitness.
Like test or being on like the deserts or whatever, in your surroundings or whatever. Yeah. Like I feel like one of them tests is the test that I feel like I would have. But yeah, in the respect of reality, nah.
No.
Reality dating, no. I'm glad I did it, and it was definitely an experience. But it's like now when I watch things, I'm thinking, oh, did they say that? Oh, what happened? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's changed my whole perspective of it, because obviously
editing is very heavy.
Like story producers for a reason. Do you know what I mean? They've got a story to tell, and they have to make it make sense. Otherwise, it won't make sense for the viewers. And the feedback I got from like my friends is that we didn't even really get like any stories. It was just all the drama. Like, it didn't really dive into the relationship or really understand it. It was just all drama. So I think like if they would have had more episodes or whatever, then it would have been like, it would have made a bit more sense. But hey, here we are. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So smiling, we're healthy.
Well, speaking of being on the screens, you're also an actress. Can we see you acting at some point?
Literally, I need to. What I've said, I've been doing my PT now for 3 months. I said I need to focus on my being self-employed, doing my PT thing for 6 months, and then I want to dabble back into acting, because even somebody at the gym, he does this. He's got like a theatre, and he was like, "Oh yeah, come through." But it's like every Monday night, I was like, "Let me focus on this for a minute, like get my business going, and then 100% I want to get back into." Acting is what I want to do solely. Like, I literally love acting, but it's just such a dog eat dog world. And I'm such a believer that when the time's right, like I just trust the process. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to, like, I've got an agent, like I do self tapes and that, and I'm just like, just a believer, trust the process. Everything happens for a reason. Like, so I'm just riding it. And you know what? Viola Davies was like 45 or maybe even older. And then, do you know what I mean? So I'm just humble with it. I'm just trust the process. Like, it will come when it comes, and good karma, good all vibes, and yeah. I'll be all right.
I love that. Well, good luck to everything.
And you. It was lovely speaking to you as well.
Lovely speaking to you too. Honestly, you're such a vibe, and I feel like as much as we got to see you, your story, I feel like we should have gotten to see this side of Danika because you're actually a vibe.
Oh, like, this is the side, but this is the side that obviously all my friends and family know.
Yeah.
But I'm like all the time, and this is what everybody else knows. But obviously, 2-minute snippets of that, they can't. Yeah, you don't. But that's the good thing. Like that is like that's the thing with TV, and I feel like maybe it's good because people don't realize that there is two sides to everything, and people go bash and be like and judge a character and everything, and you're like, you really don't know anybody. Like, and luckily, to be fair, how beefy I was, I thought I was gonna get like loads of hate, but I literally only got 2 DMs, and one of the DMs like was on my personal Instagram, and I deleted the I just blocked the DMs. I was like, I'm not entertaining it, I don't need to. But then they messaged my Fit with Fenty page as well. And I was like, they really went to their thing to notice that I blocked them from one and messaged me the same message on thing. I was like, okay. So I literally just messaged back and I was like, I really hope you have a good day and everything. And I was like, just in future, like, it'd be really nice. I was like, I hope you find the happiness that you need, because if you feel the need to message people like abuse, I was like, it's not a nice thing. They literally went back today saying sorry. I was like, yeah, bitch. I was like, yeah. I was like, you literally cussed me out saying that I was a horrible person. I literally feeded you with kindness, being like, who really is the horrible person? Because you literally found my Instagram without knowing who I am. I said, my friends and family know who I am, and they're very supportive of who I am. So really, and obviously they felt bad and said sorry. So
yeah, because there's no need for it. You know, these
there's no need. Honestly, how people can literally go on somebody's, watch it, human, go into their Instagram. I'ma tell you to tell them. No, I've never.
They've got time.
Yeah, all the time. I've never in my whole entire life done that, or I don't need to comment abuse or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? You're literally through a computer screen. If you've got something to say, respectfully, say it to my face. So yeah, I didn't understand it, but it wasn't too bad. So I was like, nah, considering how beefy I literally did come across, like I was expecting a bit more, but I feel like I got off lightly.
Well, honestly, you're doing amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Lucky man. Listen, he is enjoying the Danika experience because you're actually a vibe. And I'm just so glad that you got your happy ending, because I know what you mentioned in the show, you've been through a lot. But look at you now, you're glowing, you're looking good. And yeah, all the best in everything, all the best for the future. And perhaps we should see you very soon on our screens again. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much as well. Have a lovely evening.
And you. Bye.